Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're reviewing Coming to America, starring Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, James Earl Jones, just to name a few, on Amazon Prime. So Coming to America is the long-awaited sequel to Coming to America, the John Landis comedy from the 80s, also starring Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall and the rest. Now, when I heard this film was happening, one of two emotions happened. The first one was, oh, nice. The second one was, oh, that's been a while. Ugh, that could be bad. That could be really bad. And a part of me was worried about watching this movie because I don't want to ruin the magic that the first film is, which it truly is. It's a fantastic film. It's one of the best fish out of water movies there is going. It has a good message. It's funny. It has a great cast. It's memorable. It's enjoyable. You want to revisit it. It's hard to strike that twice and to do it with a 30-year gap between each project. And gladly I was surprised. As soon as the film started, I just felt this sense of joy and happiness that it was like, it's good to be back. It's good to see these people. It's good to see these characters. It's good to see where their lives have ended up from when we last saw them and how it all unfolds. And very early on, the comedy, it's hitting the right notes. Things like the country next door being called Nextdoria. Yep, that's the level of humour we're going for, and I don't care. It made me laugh. They've built a McDowell's out in the middle of the Sahara Desert for people to go and feed at. Immediately, I was like, okay, I think we're going to be okay here. That there are two good jokes early on that did land and feel in keeping of the original. My worry quickly went down. I won't go into the spoilers because I think it's best to just go in blind as I did. But keeping into the sense of the plot, it's similar to the first, just with slight things changed. Rather than going to America, it's more about America coming to Zamunda, the African country of which Prince Akeem comes from. And they still find a way to change the message slightly, keep it positive, keep it friendly, family friendly. The first film obviously is a little bit more risque, there's nudity and swearing in there. This does feel a little cleaner, a little bit shinier and more centralised for people of all ages. I mean, like, your kids could watch this and they won't be harmed at all, which can be really hard when, you know, some of the really memorable stuff from the original is the risque stuff. So to stay in tone and fight that, it's a really hard task, and I actually think they did really well to work their way around it. Now, I have to admit, I was never expecting this movie to be anywhere near as good as the original. As you might have guessed from my tone of voice, I'm very, very biased towards the original as being a great movie. So my bar was already lowered when I went in, and I think that's possibly good. If you come in up here, you will be disappointed. I think that's just a matter of fact. But realistically, coming with all this, the way the situation is, it's been 30 years since the first film. Everyone's aged. James Earl Jones is ancient now, and he's still in this movie. What were you expecting? You know, you have to realise that the best case scenario for this was to not be atrocious. So many sequels just get it wrong on every level. And this film isn't perfect. It does get some problems in there, but considering, with all things considering, 30 years, sequel in general, and then the modern day take of an old classic, I actually think this film does really well in that regard. It does well. It's not brilliant, but it does well. So now that I've sung the praises, I should get to some of the criticisms.
And look at Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
I could have done with more Prince Akeem and Semi, who are played by Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. They're the main two of the original film. And I could have done with more of them in this movie. They have enough screen time, but the plot really isn't aimed at them. It involves them, but it isn't about them, if that makes sense. It focuses on new characters, and I didn't love the new characters. Don't get me wrong, I didn't hate them. I wasn't literally pulling my hair out every time they were on screen. But they just don't have the same draw or pull or interest that Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall have. They don't have the same chemistry. They don't have the same entertainment factor when they're on screen. They don't have the same presence. I don't want to be mean to Leslie Jones, but I just don't get her thing. It doesn't do anything for me. It's not my cup of tea. movie. I don't think she's that funny. I don't think she's that good of a performer. Everything I've seen her in, she is just loud and obnoxious, and that just seems to be what she does. And I'm really tired of it already. She reminded me of that person that you know in life who you're not best of friends with, and you're not best of friends with them because they do stuff that's really dumb and annoying and it gets on your nerves. And then when they do that dumb and annoying thing, you're like, that's why we're not friends, like really close. That's what it is. That's Leslie Jones to me. I just don't get her stick. It's strange to me, and it's quite amateurish, if I'm being brutally honest. I don't see what's clever or funny about it. I'm not the biggest fan of Tracy Morgan either, but I have to admit I didn't mind him here. I think the character he plays of Uncle Reem, it's a sweet character. Everyone has crossed paths with an Uncle Reem at some point in their life. He is one of the shadiest people you can ever meet. For all of the poor decisions he makes in his life, he has got your back though. He will fight till the bitter end if it means if you're in trouble. He will be in your corner, massaging your shoulders and telling you to chuck in some dirty blows while you're at it. We all know an Uncle Reem, and you just gotta love them. They're great people. And I think Tracy Morgan's the right guy for this sort of character, actually. So he might not be my personal favourite, but I didn't actually dislike him here. That brings us to Lavelle, played by Jermaine Fowler. His character is fine, but he as an actor seriously lacked presence for me. When he is the focal point of the movie, the film just seems to take on this made-for-TV sheen where the actors aren't great, the dialogue isn't great, the shots aren't great, and it feels cheapened when it focuses on him and the lesser actors. And when it focuses on Eddie and Wesley Snipes, who, by the way, Wesley Snipes, never change. You are a gem in this movie.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
What the fuck does that even mean?
When it focuses on the bigger and better names, it feels like Coming to America, the sequel. The humour's good. I was laughing several times throughout the movie. Plot does sort of go a little bit wishy-washy, and here, you know, time to slam down on the message. But it's enjoyable, and it's certainly feel-good. It's family-friendly. Pretty much anyone of any age could watch this. A 5-year-old could watch it. A 95-year-old could watch it. And both could have fun with it. I do think it's missing, and I'm going to be careful when I say this because by all means and accounts, John Landis, there's several reputable sources that suggest that John Landis is bad guy, not good, don't want to hang out with him. But separating the art from the artist, you can't deny that John Landis was a phenomenal comedic director of the 80s. National Lampoon, Trading Places, Coming to America, the first one. He really does know what he's doing when it comes to directing comedy, and it is lacking in this movie. The more of the physical gags, the sarcasm, the irony, it's not quite so strong here. There's moments of it, but it's not really powerful like it was in the first one. So I'm going to give Coming to America a 7 out of 10. It's a good, fun family film for everyone, and there's a lot of enjoyment to be had. Thanks for watching this review. If you could leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.